Another Saturday. Good morning. It's just Saturday. We're gonna start here. We've got a broken bolt for our moving deck cam follower shaft. I'm not gonna do this one on video. Just wanted to pop in and say good morning and start the day. What I will say is that I'm cranking this thing by hand, and I'm noticing a sound. Can you hear it? Almost like clicking. That's the squealy short turret belt squealing in super slow motion. Pretty interesting, huh? Oh boy, yeah, she's a little sideways, huh? Well, we're gonna put it back together, and then we're going to probably have them order some moving deck cam follower shaft upgrade support kits. I need to see if we can extract this broken stud out of this shaft. I'm going to try a flat blade screwdriver and see if I can spin it out that way. Don't know how much time I want to spend on this. I know that they don't have another new shaft. Everything they have in their inventory has gouges and dings and dents, and it's pretty worn out. So if we can reuse this one, that would be a huge help. Success! All three studs that were holding that shaft on. That came out pretty easy. Oh, you can't see. Is this a new shaft? No, but this one's better than anything else they have. So we're gonna roll with it for now, right? Can you see in there into the graveyard? So these studs have broken several times in the past, and we've got evidence here, right? Hard evidence that this has become a chronic issue for them. So I'm gonna break the book open. We're gonna button this up, right? We're not gonna spend too much time on this one. Ooh, that camera lens is dirty. There we go. We're gonna clean all that stuff out. We're gonna add, I don't know where it is. I've got a new bolt. And I'll show you guys a picture in the parts book, if I can, of the support upgrade kit here in just a minute. Okay, new bolts in there, everything's back together. Let's go take a look at the parts book. Here is the part number for this moving deck cam follower support. I wish I had a better picture. I don't believe they have one of these in stock, but that end will bolt to the frame and support the unsupported end of the shaft on the opposite side from the gearbox. These are good. I've used these in the past. I haven't needed to very much because, you know, you tend to see broken parts like this because of bad worn other components. It's not just weak bolts, and they have worn bad and other issues. Someone had commented on one of the other videos of why you got them duckbill pliers. You should be using X-washer pliers. You know, they have a channel cut out in them and they're really, really good. Well, so here's the answer. Let me show you. So let's talk about why I think duckbills are going to be far superior. Let's bring in duckbills real quick. You have a slot in them, right? That's supposed to cradle the X pin. Well, we don't have a lot of workroom here. We're butted right up against that washer. Duckbills, tons of workroom. We can work right up against that washer. You can see how I'm on the edge of the duckbills? You can't really do that with X-washer pliers. I mean, you can, but it's not easy. Your X-washer pliers, you kind of have to, I don't know, you're going in at a weird angle because otherwise you're going to butt up against that washer. You know, these X-washer pliers are great. If you are curious, this is a Knipex brand. You don't need to get the fancy Knipex. Really, any decent set of duckbill pliers is going to work pretty good for you. Well, I went to go fire this one up, and so it's plugged in, the breaker's on, rear switch went on, it didn't turn on, right? So we have to think of our 5 switches, right? Circuit breaker, masking unit. I'm willing to bet it's the wall breaker. You've got a deck jam cable, a turret jam cable, and a rear kill switch. They don't list the rear on switch. That's kind of, in many cases, an aftermarket upgrade for the technician's convenience. So, rear kill switch, turret jam switch, deck jam switch, wall breaker, masking unit switch, circuit box breaker, and a wall panel breaker. So, if your machine won't turn on, those are the 5 things you got to check first. That masking unit switch has gotten a lot of people stumped. I made a service call one time. I drove, I think it was like an hour and a half, and all I did is I went click, and the Pinsetter turned right on. It's like super spooky in here. Let's see if we can find a breaker that has tripped. Nothing there. Yep, right here, 38. I usually my mouth to hold a flashlight. Off, on. That's kind of a funny sticker. I bet that she will turn on now, huh? There you go. We're not here for that. She lives. If anybody's curious, this was the lane that we did the Bondo Bandito gearbox patch job. It's held up. It's dry. It's not leaking anymore. So this one's on the list for something wrong. We think it's a gearbox clutch. Yeah. Really what this is the one of the big things, well, besides the obvious neglect of the gearbox clutch, as well as the rest of the machinery, our torsion spring here is getting a little weak, right? Clutch arm's not lifting all the way up. We can try to adjust it up and get some more lift. We'll definitely lubricate some pivot points for sure, because that's not helping anything. And then we've got the obvious wear and tear factor. But let's see if we can make a quick adjustment. We will lubricate some pivot points, and we'll bring it back in, see what we got. So we've got a little bit of some oil dropped on the pivot points. It's not ideal to lubricate dirty pivot points, right? Because it's just going to turn it into liquid sandpaper. But, let's see if I can get the big issue here is a severe lack of preventive maintenance on the gearbox clutch. Our shoes are worn down. Our clutch drive disc surfaces are wearing thin. And we have a whole lot of flippy floppy sloppy room here. But let's turn it on and see if we have resolved their situation. Sort of. I've given it all she's got, Captain. She's got no more to give. So routine adjustment is not going to work. We're going to have to put a helper spring from the bolt here up to the solenoid box to help pull that lever up. It's not ideal, but it will get them back up and running again. I mean, this is their parts room, right? Do you think we have clean, ready to go rebuilt clutches? Yeah, no. So let's look at it now. Setting new pins. Oh, she still didn't stop. We have multiple problems. Our clutch reset lever isn't moving up and down. So we've lost at least one bearing. You know what? I wasn't even looking at that. I was looking at the arm the whole time. That needed some attention too, right? But this is our main problem. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Yeah. So, my fingers causing it to not focus properly. Hold on. The top of this link plate should have a bearing that rides on top of it. If you look past that link plate, that bearing is underneath it. This is part of our 90-degree over travel elimination kit, and it has come separated. I think what I'm gonna do, what might be the easiest thing, is we're gonna grab a punch. We're at 180 degrees. We're gonna punch this roll pin out, and we're gonna remove the shaft, and we're gonna separate our two pieces and line them back up. At 180 degrees, that pin is allowed to ride through out of this plate, and it won't encounter a high dwell of the scissors cam. Let's see if we can tap this out. It might work, it might not. I may have, no, that's the right size punch. Not a huge fan of this style because where these pins are located, it's working. Sideways, low clearance, sideways hammer. Slowly, but surely. Don't call me Shirley. Sorry. Bad joke. Old movies. Trying to hold the pin so I don't lose it in the detector gears, because that's not good. Alright, I have the pin in my fingers. Cool. So we should be able to push this shaft out. Making a liar out of me, huh? There we go. Did you see it move out that way? Cool. And we have enough of the shaft exposed. Yeah, you can't see through here. But I've got the pin punch through the hole in the shaft, and I can use that to help guide me out. And that way I'm not gonna fling a bunch of parts. Okay, so we have piece number 2 out of our 2-piece lever removed. Hold on, you can't see nothing. I think we need to go a little wider here. Maybe about like that. So now the fun part. There is no second extended cycle cam on this assembly, which might be why this thing was allowed to shift out of position. There we go, working it back in. Bearing is seated on the pin appropriately. The hole in the shaft is lined up pretty close to the hole in our lever. Right there, good. Let's see if we can send it home. Some wiggles. Good, I can get my punch through there. That means our shaft and our lever are lined up. Let me bring in the duck bills and a hammer. I should have brought a smaller, a tiny hammer. Oh, I'm giving everybody the bird, sorry. Maybe we got it started. Maybe we can the ball peen end. Get in there a little bit more better. All right, she's in. So let's look at this again, you know, because before, hold on, focus. Before, this bearing was below that stop surface, and it is no longer below that stop surface, so we should be good. So let's retry this again for the umpteenth time. No, I'm joking. It's the third time. Third restart. What? What was that? Crazy. All right, third restart and third issue found. Clutch lever is walking off of our stop surface. Our stop surface is totally trashed, amongst other things. Let's see if we can grab a file. Maybe we can recontour that shape and get it to latch. If not, you can see it's getting pretty thin down here too. So we may have to condemn this particular part and seek out replacement if filing it is unsuccessful. I think we're pretty good here. I'm just kind of filing this stop surface down. It had a pretty big booger in it, but I know our bearing is kind of shot too, so we will see if we have another bearing. But let's check this out. Yep. Oh, if you push real hard, it'll fall out. That's not ideal. That may go away with a brand new bearing, but we're in much better shape now than we were before. Let's see if it'll run. Let's see if it's good enough to run. Oh yeah, hold on. I removed my little helper spring here. Okay, now let's try again. Oh, we're at 180. Okay, we're waiting for 10. It works. It works. Let's go find another bearing. All right, let's swap this bad bearing out. I've got a replacement. I was able to find one. Ah, I forgot that we were not in a floating position. That's okay. Let's it's okay. We're still good. Get our nut, lock washer, and flat washer off. And then we will remove our pin and our bearing. Oops, dropped the flat washer. That's okay. We have one that came with our new stack. Let's bring that in real quick. Pin and flat washer and bearing. Let's set it right there for now. Flat washer, lock washer, and a nut. And then we will retighten and retest. But we should be good after this. Come on. Let me get my screwdriver tip in there. Yeah, this, you know, the more you look, the more you're going to see. Give me my screwdriver back. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we got helper springs galore today. Let's turn it on and see what we can see. A little shaky. No. She failed. Even worse now than it was before. Well, we need some more filing action, don't we? That's okay. I'll pause it here and bring it back in when we've got everything filed down. We have spent just a few more minutes filing this down, but I think that we are at a good spot. It does not want to back away. So let's see how we do now. Everybody's clear? All clear, I'm clear, you're clear. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna stop it right there. We're at 180. Take a closer look at our dash pod stop collar adjustment. It's a little off. We need to lift our shoulder up. We need to be a little higher than where we're at now. Yeah, you guys didn't get to see it, but yeah, you were zoomed in on the clutch lever. But the machine stopped at 270 degrees when it shouldn't have. So we're going to loosen our clamping screw on our dash pod stop collar, and we are going to shift it ever so slightly. We're going to shift our dash pod plunger down a little bit, and that will raise the shoulder on the clutch reset lever. See? No, you can't see. We are in a much better spot now. Cool, let's retest. Testing again. Oh, we're at 180, waiting for pin. It's gonna be a minute. All right, here we go. Oh no, we went too far. It didn't latch. a very slight adjustment. So we're at 180, waiting for pins. All right. There we go. Successful. Is it a little bit ugly? It sure is a little bit ugly. But the good news is this should run without any issues. And they can continue to have people bowl on it, and the machine will continue to generate revenue without stopping. So that's really good, right? And we didn't have to put a whole crap ton of new parts in, because they didn't really have a whole crap ton of new parts for us to put in. Shh. Well, this has turned into quite a project. We're gonna try our baby impact gun, and if that doesn't work, then we will upgrade. So one of the issues on this lane, they're telling me that what the note on the board said stops at 90 degrees. They do have a group bowling here, so we may not be able to do anything hands-on, but maybe we can take a peek, see if there's anything wrong, and give them some advice. So it looks like our cycle solenoid adjustment is a little bit out of whack. We're gonna try and adjust this kind of on the fly. What we need to do is loosen the two screws, and we need to slide it up a little bit. We don't have enough gap at 180 degrees. Kind of sitting here waiting for them to roll a ball so I can try and do this mid-cycle. That's looking a whole lot better. So let's look at 180. Little gap. They didn't have that before. I'm gonna put a little bit of side load on that plunger link. We're gonna wait for them to throw another ball and see if it can still pull that plunger link in, even with just a little bit of side load. There we go, it did. I'm adding resistance to it. It didn't do that before. So I think we're probably good here. We had a cycle solenoid adjustment. It wasn't able to trip the clutch every single time. And now it's a whole lot better. So one of the last things on my to-do list today was going to be swapping out this accelerator motor. We're not going to film it. We've done an accelerator. We did a power lift motor. You know, we don't need to film that either. Let's close it out here. It's getting loud. It's starting to get busy. And we're not going to cover anything new today, I don't think, from here on out. So this is the second replacement motor. That other motor kind of blew up in my face, and I'm not joking, like literally. I connected the wiring on, but what I didn't notice is that the wiring insulation on the old motor was starting to crack, and we sent 208 volts directly to ground, and it just kind of shot sparks like right into my face when I powered it on. Well, we're not gonna end the video there, huh? We're back here. You guys just saw this video a couple minutes ago. In real life, it's been like an hour. But they've been getting some 180 calls. What we're gonna call 180 with a full deck. So the machine, it's stopping at 180, but they've got 10 pins in the deck ready to go. So this is where terminology makes a difference. We had one person saying the machine was failing to trigger or failing to cycle. The note on the board said stops at 90 degrees. And right now we're getting 180 calls. Man, I almost got bored watching and I got kind of sleepy, but it happened. I didn't get it on video, but it appears that the 180 interlock cross shaft adjustment is slightly out of whack. Let's see if it's gonna happen or not. Nope, not that time. Well, that's weird. What, do they just decide to move them? Probably. I could have waited. I don't know how much longer they had, but if it was, 10 to 15 minutes, we could have waited. We could have got it on video too, but if they want to move them, they want this taken care of, then we'll just do it now. I'll go grab some tools. So we got this machine set at 180, empty deck. We're waiting for pins. This little gap right here, book spec. Book spec is 1/4 of an inch. We're going to achieve that by loosening this clamping bolt and rotating the shaft in the bracket. I didn't get it on camera, but I loosened the clamp and I rotated the shaft in the clamp. What we're going for, I can show you overhead, maybe right here. No, we had it better over here. We've decreased that gap. We're a little under 1/4 of an inch. Not much, just a hair under. This should work much better. When that shaft rotates down there, it's gonna lift this link up. That link's gonna lift. Your cycle linkage lever, can you see it move just a little bit? I'm wiggling it right over here, and we're gonna trip the clutch. If that gap is too big, when you give that full deck signal and your 180 interlock release link moves up, it may not rotate the lever far enough to trip the clutch. So you'll end up with a full deck of pins ready to go, but it won't be able to restart your gearbox clutch. So let's focus on this gap now. We've got a full deck of pins. Let's put it on second ball. Let's cycle it. Let's watch this gap. There we go. It kept the gearbox clutch engaged. So let's watch this on a strike cycle. Well, we've got an empty deck and then we transition into a full deck. So right now we've got the cross conveyor locked, no pins on the pin deck. First ball, detect, holding pins, strike, full deck, and we came out of 180. So we should be good here. This is also a good lesson in making sure that everybody's on the same page with terminology. We've been working for a couple of weeks here based on some inaccurate information, right? First they were saying, well, it wasn't cycling, and then it was 90 stop, and now we come to find out, I'm here a little bit later this week, we've got people in the building, and we're actually seeing 180 calls. Not fail to trigger, not stopping at 90 degrees, not stopping at 270, 180 with a full deck. So it took a couple weeks to find it, but we're good. Oh boy, I need a shower and a haircut real bad, huh? We're all done. We're done here for the day. It's been 6 hours. I'm tired. I'm dirty. I'm filthy. ready to go home and clean up a little bit. Oh, we're not done yet. They were getting a failed index call, and they wanted to adjust the snubber, but then we discovered we have a missing, broken turret wire.